come in, sir? Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Please take your seat. You, Miss Amritpal Kaur. Amritpal, tell us something about you.
Sir, as you said, my name is Amritpal Kaur. I'm from Gurdaspur in Punjab, and I did a BE in electrical engineering from Punjab Engineering College. After that, I worked for 1.5 years in TPDDL Delhi, and then I started preparing for UPSC. Currently, I am in IRTS and on an extraordinary leave according to the policy of the Ministry of Railways, which mandates it in case I have to appear for 2019 civil services.
So you are selected, but you have not yet joined.
Yes.
You joined, but you took EOA.
Yes.
Okay. Amritpal, basically you are appearing for for in the services, right?
Sir, since I had the opportunity, and that's why I thought, and I had the attempts, so I thought that I can give the exam again. Although I am an IRTS
So
already.
how many services are you trying for now?
So in the preference order, I filled 6: IAS, IPS, IRS IT, IFS, IAAS, and IRS CNC.
Okay. Amritpal, I can see that you did your electrical engineering from Punjab Engineering College, which is supposed to be a very good engineering college, and you had a CGPA of 9.01, which is exceptional in my opinion. So it appears that you are, I think you're a good engineer, aren't you? You work with NDPL also.
Yes, sir.
So why civil engineering? I mean, we have very few trained, qualified electrical engineers like you in
पागल
power sector. Why civil engineering? Civil services.
Yes, sir. Civil services to me it provided a combination of certain things which I could not have had as an electrical engineer. First of all, I feel that civil services are a lot more diverse in the nature of opportunities they offer a person. Secondly, sir, there is a lot of decision-making power. While one is willing to work for society and to contribute to the development of the country, it offers a lot of decision-making power, civil services as such. And so thirdly, there is a lot of social respect for civil servants, which I as a human being and in general also, we wish for a social respect. So it commands a lot of respect in society, civil services. So that's why I decided to.
Well, Amritpal, personally speaking, from my experience, I'm really happy to see a youth from Punjab having this kind of ambitions in general. Otherwise, most youth in Punjab are known to have ambitions that generally means getting to either Canada or other foreign countries. And what is actually wrong with the youth aspiration levels in Punjab? Or is there systemic failures that we are not in position to give good quality dreams to our
Sir, I've also thought about it a lot because it is a persistent problem and it is only getting like it is increasing. So I would say that there are a number of reasons due to which this is happening. First of all, yes, like you said, there are systemic failures on the part of the administration and governments because they haven't been able to provide the kind of employment opportunities and the kind of quality of education that the youth and their parents expect for their wants. Secondly, there is also a lot of I feel personally because in my family also there are many youngsters who have moved abroad. So there is also a lot of influence of social media. Personally, I feel people are putting up a lot of images that they are such and such things are available in Canada, or they can have fun and they are able to work, and people think that such a society or such type of freedom is not available in Punjab where they can do as they want. So they want in search of freedom also they want to go to Canada. So it is a combination of what kids feel they need, they want, and also what they feel that they have not been provided by society and the government.
Another major problem that Punjab faces nowadays vis-a-vis youth is that of drugs. Do you believe that the issue of drug abuse is that prevalent, or it's just
Yes, sir, the problem of drug as such in Punjab has been shown in such light that Punjab has come to be some sort of a poster boy for drug abuse across the country. But if we look at it objectively and factually, there has not been any third party independent survey which shows that the prevalence of drugs in Punjab is more as compared to other states. So that is there. That there is no factual basis to claim that there is more drug abuse in Punjab relative to other states. And yes, sir, the issue has to be acknowledged that yes, the drug abuse is there, and the government is also taking steps. But it cannot be factually and objectively stated that it is very prevalent in Punjab only and not in other states.
Amritar, since you come from Punjab and you belong to Sikh community, uh, you must be knowing the Kartarpur corridor is issue. Recently, Honorable Prime Minister made a comment that it is the mistake of first Prime Minister Nehru that Kartarpur is in Pakistan. Uh, I want to ask two things. One, how correct factually this statement is. And second, do you believe 70 years after the independence, elected Prime Minister of a country should make statement like this?
So, the answer to the first question that whether this is correct or not, such a statement is correct or not. I think in hindsight, everybody can say hindsight is always 6/6, like they say. So, to judge historical circumstances which were very tough and which have been acknowledged across the world to be very humanitarian in terms of humanitarianism. It was a very tough time, and all the things happened very fast. So I would say that such a claim at this time might not be it has to be the personal opinion of the person who makes a claim, and because history provides us a lot of clarity which is not available at the time of when things happen. Secondly, the other question that should the elected prime minister of a country make such a statement? I think it is a person's opinion. So, as an electorate, how people take it is is according to the desire, the wishes, the opinions of people. So everybody is free to express their opinion.
Thank you.
Amrit Parkar. Do India need bullet trains when our normal railways is under so much stress and there is no expansion of normal railways?
Ma'am, the question that whether India needs bullet train is definitely a yes. Yes, India needs bullet trains because we as a nation are ambitious. We want to do great things. We want to be scientifically advanced. The question, what it boils down to is the timing. Whether we need it now because we need funds for other many other sectors also. So, provided that we are able to utilize whatever we get through the technology that comes with bullet trains, I think it would serve India in the long term. And the need is to be able to balance the expenditures.
Okay. There has been consistent reduction in the contribution of railways in freight transport. Why?
Ma'am, like you said, it has been overtaken by road, which contributes about 65% to freight. So there are a number of reasons. Firstly, there is an issue of punctuality that freight trains are normally late, so it costs a lot to the businesses which are using trains for freight. Secondly, there is also the issue of theft that theft happens and the security apparatus is not up to the mark. I mean, it is not able to cater to the needs of security of the freight.